ahead on 12 News, a Golden Valley man's amazing story to go along with his amazing spirit of giving. Plus a major land plan in northern Brooklyn Park that could turn a corn maze into something much different. But first, if you thought the fiscal cliff was scary, see what some think could happen 2 months from now. 12 News starts right now. While some people were still out celebrating the new year, Congress was trying to tug the country back above the fiscal cliff.
The House approved a deal late Tuesday night, a deal that will spare most Americans from higher income tax rates, but sets aside federal spending cuts. The deal was hammered out behind closed doors between Vice President Joe Biden and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. The deal raises taxes for households making more than $450,000. It also extends expiring jobless benefits. However, Americans will still see less money in their paychecks. The deal allows Social Security payroll taxes to go back up. They had been reduced over the past 2 years to help boost the economy. So what happens next? That's a question that could be just as intimidating as the notion of the fiscal cliff.
Delane Cleveland met with a local political expert today and has more on what the deal does and maybe more importantly, what it does not do.
Mike and Shannon, Congress may have avoided going over the fiscal cliff, which economists say would have sent the U.S. into another recession. But the hard work is far from over. Congress needs to find agreement on the government's debt ceiling in 2 months, or otherwise the federal government could default on its debt.
I think people want the economy as a whole to keep growing, because that's better. But if it should instill any confidence that the next fiscal crisis of the debt ceiling or these mandatory cuts in the next 60 days will be solved somehow before the deadline? Probably not.
Political analyst Blois Ellison says the fiscal cliff deal may not instill confidence in people that Congress will be able to act over these next couple of months, but he did say these negotiations have shown that President Obama has more leverage now than he had before the election.
You have the inauguration, you have the State of the Union, and so it depends on how he builds the narrative and builds public support to try to frame this as a larger agenda rather than just piecemeal deals together step by step.
The fiscal cliff deal essentially lays the groundwork for future battles between Republicans and Democrats over federal spending and how to reduce the debt. Investors, on the other hand, were happy that Congress got a deal done. Stocks were up Wednesday afternoon as a result of the vote. Mike and Shannon?
All right, Delane, thank you very much. Local lawmakers are split on the fiscal cliff deal.
Congressman Eric Paulson voted no, saying the deal doesn't provide any meaningful solutions to reduce the budget. Congressman Keith Ellison, meanwhile, voted yes. He says the deal wasn't perfect, but it protected seniors and families. I had a chance to talk with Congressman Ellison by phone earlier today.
I think that it really is unfortunate that the taxes are going up for people on their payroll tax, but they should also know that only a few years ago they were paying all of that tax, and it went down to try to get us through the ugly part of the recession. It's going back up now that the economy is doing a little bit better, but it was always going to be a temporary thing. And remember, that's the money that goes to fund Social Security. This is sort of a mixed blessing. On the one hand, it's too bad that Social Security, payroll tax is going back up. That's gonna cost a family making $50,000 about $1,000 a year, which is real money. But on the same token, we do have to fund Social Security, so it did eventually need to go back up. Now is the time that it's happening. Some people could say it could be next year. Some people should have said it. Maybe could say it could be last year, but it eventually was going to go back up.
Ellison also says numbers from the Congressional Budget Office are misleading. The deal will add $4 trillion to the deficit over the next 10 years, but without a deal, Ellison says the number would have been much higher.
In other news, changes may be coming for a large piece of farmland known for bringing in thousands of people every fall for a corn maze.
It's a pretty big thing. There's a lot of land available, over 200 acres for development.
227-acre piece of land at the intersection of Highway 169 and 109th Avenue has been home to Bert Bauman's corn maze for several years. Now the landowners are working on developing it for industrial office, retail, and housing space. Depending on the strength of the market, the land could provide up to 3 million square feet of development space, including 600 apartment units. The city officials say there will be enough parking to support 3,000 to 4,000 jobs, and being near the Target campus is a plus.
A lot of people who like to be by Target, but not necessarily in an office setting. A lot of these land uses are smaller office, but mostly in light industrial, manufacturing, warehousing, showroom type of uses.
And now through January 18th, the city is taking comments on the environmental impact of such a development. The biggest issue may be added traffic in the area. Extra lanes would have to be added to streets, and Highway 169 would need another interchange near 101st Avenue. As far as Bert Bauman's corn maze is concerned, he says nothing is in concrete yet, and he plans to continue holding it until construction forces him to stop, and that could be years down the line. It all depends on what the demand is for that kind of development. Shannon?
Mike, concerns about the flu continue to rise. In fact, health officials fear this could be one of the worst influenza seasons in years. Many hospitals and clinics across the state are reporting patient levels not seen since 2009, when the H1N1 or swine flu pandemic took hold. Health officials also say this year's most common strain of flu is causing more severe symptoms than normal, and that could be contributing to the increase in emergency room visits. Doctors say the best protection is still a flu shot, which is still widely available. New Year's resolutions could be the reason January is when people buy the most self-help books. Losing weight always tops the list, as does people wanting to get their finances in order. So this month in Money Savers, we are hosting a book club. Each week we will interview a local author about their money-saving advice. We start with financial planner Nicole Middendorf in Plymouth, who is out with her second book called Lipstick on the Piggy Bank. Financial planner Nicole Middendorf says people frequently stop her
I get tons of questions.
to ask a question about money.
People always say to me, I have a dumb question. And then they would ask that question. And I just really believe there's never, ever, ever a dumb question when it comes to your money.
She tried to answer those questions in a book called Simple Answers in 2007.
There are a lot of books out there for women and money, but I really wanted to just be another person that could bring empowerment to women and bring control. And so that's where the Lipstick on the Piggy Bank came about.
Her second book, Lipstick on the Piggy Bank, has been out a few months.
Now that more and more women are working and more women are starting their own businesses, it's huge. I mean, we as women, we really need to be empowered with our money.
In the book, Nicole talks her way financially through big events like children, divorce, even retirement planning, addressing each topic with examples and stories to help you better understand your financial challenges and options.
It doesn't mean you can't have a financial advisor that's your partner, or that you can't have your spouse be your partner with you and help you with your money, but you shouldn't give up control. You always want to be aware where your dollars are and have an understanding so that you're making some smart decisions and getting yourself where you want to go.
She includes resources and even simple exercises to help you in your financial journey.
If you write it down, or if you look at it, or if you visualize it, or if you tell someone and have someone help you hold yourself accountable, you're going to get where you want to go.
Nicole's book, Lipstick on the Piggy Bank, is available on her website, NicoleMiddendorf.com, for $16.95. Nicole is already planning her next book, which will be geared toward children and money. Coming up, a Golden Valley man's remarkable story.
What he's doing that's giving others hope. And then later in sports, a recap of a very successful week of holiday tournaments for local teams.
But first, it's your AccuWeather forecast.
Well, some might think the season of giving is winding down. For one Golden Valley man, it's just ramping up.
Paul Pranghofer is prepping for his 5th mission trip to Haiti. And as Renee Bonneau reports, he's giving more than just his time and money. He's giving the people he serves inspiration.
Those kids have become my second family.
For several years, Paul Pranghofer's watched a special group of children grow up.
We have a couple of the kids that have CP. And then there's just a wide variety that we're just not sure what their disabilities are because they've never been diagnosed.
The children live at a special needs home called Mephibosheth House in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. When he can, Pranghofer visits the home with a group from Church of the Open Door in Maple Grove. Their main mission, to make the kids feel loved.
I love soccer, and we do a lot of soccer with the kids. They love soccer, and some of their athletic ability just astounds me.
The trips often test the abilities of the kids and Pranghofer.
I'm missing both arms completely at the shoulders.
Being born without arms and with a short right leg hasn't stopped Pranghofer from living a normal life.
I can probably do almost anything that most people can do with their fingers with my toes.
He's not a victim to the fact he's got 2 arms missing. He is not a victim. He's a coach. He's a referee. He's married. He's had a career. He serves at his church. Paul's a hero.
Steve Hansen leads the mission trips to Haiti and says Pranghofer inspires the children to push themselves.
Just maybe your feet can do things that you never thought possible. Just maybe your voice can do something you never thought possible. And Paul brings such hope to our staff, to the kids, and to their relatives.
Pranghofer will make his 5th trip to Haiti on January 13th. And while his mobility is limited and French Creole practically non-existent, he's certain his message of hope will reach the children.
I have no trouble with communication. I mean, there's just certain things that are just, no matter where you go, it's just part of, you understand.
Each volunteer must pay for his own flight to Haiti, and you can help pitch in for Pranghofer's ticket. The Culvers in Maple Grove is collecting donations. Also, next Monday, January 7th, the Maple Grove Culvers is donating a portion of sales collected between 4 and 8 p.m. to Paul for the trip. Mike and Shannon, Pranghofer says this trip will cost him about $1,600.
Remarkable man.
And just an inspiration being around him.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, very much so.
Thanks, Renee.
But coming up, a New Year's Day that didn't involve a lot of rest, but certainly provided plenty of excitement for a Maple Grove High School grad.
But first, in sports, Maple Grove's girls basketball team snaps a 2-game losing streak as the Crimson prepare for an important conference game. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back.
John Jacobson with sports and Maple Grove girls basketball. They're in a really tight race. I guess it could be anybody's to win.
In Northwest Suburban Conference, a couple of teams right at the top they're pretty good. Maple Grove right in that next group, fighting for second, maybe for first place later in the season. Maple Grove's girls basketball team trails only Centennial and Osseo in the Northwest Suburban Conference standings. The Crimson face the second place Orioles Friday night in the first of 2 regular season meetings. Crimson broke a 2-game losing streak in their most recent outing against Mahtomedi. Turnover here, Angie Davison feeding Madison Ordner for 2. Maple Grove jumping out to a 9-0 lead. Now on the break, Kayla Jones to Jordan Malk for the layup, and the Crimson are up 11. Still in the first half, Kelly Olzenak hits a 3-pointer, and Maple Grove leads 28-9. Jones drives into the lane and scores 2, and Maple Grove blowing out the Zephyrs, up by over 30 at this point. Second half, freshman Mackenzie Barta knocks down a 3-pointer from the corner. She scores 18 points as Maple Grove wins 69-35. The Crimson play at Osseo Friday night at 6 o'clock as part of a girls-boys doubleheader. It was a pretty productive holiday tournament season for local teams, especially in basketball. Here's a look at local tournament champions, starting with boys basketball. Area teams won each of the 2 mini tournaments at Bethel. Maple Grove beat Cooper 68-63 in one bracket final. The Crimson has won 5 straight games heading into Friday's game against rival Osseo. Champlin Park won the other bracket at Bethel, beating Jefferson by 4 in the championship game. Like Maple Grove, Wayzata's boys are on a good roll after a slow start. The Trojans won 3 straight at the Catholic Spirit Tournament at St. Thomas to take the title. They beat Holy Angels in the final. Hopkins dominated the competition at the Augsburg Tournament, ripping past Chanhassen in the championship game. The Brooklyn Center boys beat St. Paul Humboldt 85-67 in the title game of the Trinity Tournament. The Centaurs are now 6-2. The top-rated team in Class A, Maranatha Christian Academy, beat host Fergus Falls to win the Otters Tournament. Maranatha is undefeated. Heritage Christian Academy is also unbeaten after winning the Park Rapids Tournament. The Eagles are ranked 3rd in Class A. West Lutheran also grabs a tournament title, beating Lester Prairie in the final of Howard Lake Waverly's tournament. In girls basketball, Park Center is impressive on the way to winning the 4-team Alexandria Tournament. The Pirates sailed past Moorhead 82-50 in the title game. The Hopkins girls pounded Osseo in the 3rd round of the Dick's Sporting Goods Classic. The Royals tied Eden Prairie and Minnetonka as all 3 Lake Conference teams went 3-0 in the tournament. The Maranatha girls, defending state Class A champions, took a holiday title by beating Norwood Young America. Defending Class 2A champ Providence Academy won the tough Rochester Rotary Tournament, beating Apple Valley in the championship. In boys hockey, the Wayzata boys continued their strong season by crushing Benilde 7-1 on the Red Knights' home ice at the Sports Authority Tournament. Those teams play again Thursday night. Cooper was winless heading into their tournament in Silver Bay, but the Hawks went 3-0, outscoring their opponents 32-5 to take the title. And the North Metro girls are tournament champions after winning a shootout against Moose Lake Willow River in the final of the Schwann Cup White Division. Local boxer Ismael Muendo is back in the ring this Saturday. The super featherweight will headline a card at the Hyatt Regency in Minneapolis on Saturday night. Muendo, formerly of Brooklyn Center, is 11-0 with 9 knockouts. He'll face Anthony Nopunye of Miami, Florida. For more information, go to FightArea51.com. And good luck to him. He's a pretty good track record so far in his career.
All right, we'll follow it. Thanks, John. Still ahead, a New Year's that turned up roses for a Maple Grove High School grad.
And we're back in just a moment. Now here's a look ahead at some of the stories we're following on Thursday's 12 News. We'll show you how the Historical Society in Golden Valley is planning a new edition. Plus, we'll meet a standout student at Park Center High School who was one of a handful of Minnesota students on track for an important scholarship. And in sports, we'll check in with 2 local prep boys basketball teams coming off big wins in holiday tournaments. Those stories and more Thursday, beginning at 4 o'clock. Oh, finally, the game didn't go quite as he liked, but it was still a day to remember for a Maple Grove College student.
Mitchell Avelin is a freshman at the University of Wisconsin and marched in the Rose Bowl during the halftime show on New Year's Day. His New Year's began bright and early. He and fellow bandmates got up at 5 a.m. to march in the Rose Parade. Mitchell plays the trumpet. He is among 300 marching band members at the University of Wisconsin. He and the others returned home Tuesday night. Of course, the game didn't go so well for Wisconsin fans, losing to Stanford, but that was good news for another local guy playing on Stanford's team.
That's right. A.J. Tarpley, a Wayzata High School graduate, starting linebacker for the Cardinal on the winning side of that Rose Bowl. And congratulations to him. It was a great season for Stanford and their first Rose Bowl win in 40 years.
Wow. Bowl championship ring there for him.
Yeah, nice weekend for him. Nice week.
Right. And that's all the news we have for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Stay with us. Community Corner is coming up next, and we'll see you back here again tomorrow beginning at 4.